Okay, so welcome to this Wednesday's mindfulness meditation session. And I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your day for self-care. Most of us, I venture, care for others. And in order for us to truly be available for others, we have to take time to care for ourselves. So if you're able, please take a moment to genuinely thank yourself for making this time. Maybe noticing how you feel about thanking yourself. Do you think it's silly, unnecessary, or are you comfortable and okay with thanking yourself? The mind can be very critical, negative, so it's nice to give ourselves some positive feedback. So before we start our practice today, let's take some time to ground and come into this space, letting go of what was happening before we got here or what maybe is happening after. We'll do the same grounding practice that we did last week, putting the right hand on the forehead and putting the left hand in the back where the neck and the head meet. And this grounding practice helps calm the central nervous system by touching these points on the head and the back of the neck. And taking some breaths in and out. And maybe noticing the breath changing. Maybe noticing the tension in the back of the neck where the hand is. Maybe the muscles are relaxing a little bit. Maybe not. And taking a couple more breaths. And seeing if we can relax the arms if we're holding any tension in them. Maybe we're pressing. Just a light touch. And bringing the arms, releasing them down to the side. So today we're going to be exploring some of the mindfulness practices by the Strozzi Institute. And while I'm speaking, you can keep your eyes closed if you like, or have a soft gaze. It's not necessary to look at me. So the Strozzi Institute is headquartered in Oakland, and they have their training site and dojo in Petaluma, which is north of San Francisco. Richard Strozzi Hephner is the founder of the Strozzi Institute. He has a PhD in psychology, and he has a 7th degree black belt in Aikido. He has 4 decades of experience with embodiment and leadership. That's what the Strozzi Institute is known for. He's worked with Fortune 500 companies, NATO, startups, nonprofits, the US government, and the military. So specifically, I'm sharing some of the practices from Amanda Blake. She was trained at the Strozzi Institute. And the Strozzi Institute focuses on somatic experiencing in the body. And they've been focusing on somatics way before it's vogue. It's more well known nowadays than it used to be. So somatics is based on the understanding that the mind, the body, the self, and rationality are all linked together. And that if you're going to develop one, that you must cultivate the others. We tend to be in our heads and not in our bodies. We're taught in school to use our mind, our intellect, but not really the whole body. So this practice is about coming to your senses. It begins with tuning into your senses and feeling more of what is going on in the body. Excuse me. So we have a strong sense of what is happening right here and right now. And by doing that, then we can have choices and possibly respond differently if we are fully aware of what's happening in our mind and our body. And our mood also predisposes us to certain actions, and the sensations in the body are tightly intertwined with the mood. So let's try a little experiment. I want you to slump over in your chair. Let your arms go limp at your side. Let your chest maybe collapse in. Tend to naturally drop our head when we do this. And think of the last time you felt down about something. Now, maybe not go to the most depressing experience of your life, but a time when you're definitely sad. And let that memory take hold in your body just for a moment. And now I want you to try to say with enthusiasm to yourself as much as you can muster, I'm having a fantastic day. Seems silly, right? It's incongruent. Feels fake almost. The tone of the voice does not match the body. Maybe sit up now, sort of shake a little bit. Get rid of that sensation in the body. Now I want you to sit up straight. Take a deep breath in and out of the body. Maybe relax your shoulders. Relax the jaw. If you're sitting, maybe have the hips squarely over your upper body. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Maybe lift your chin a little bit. Now think of a time that you're proud of, something that you're happy. Now try and say, wow, things are horrible. Things are really grim. Again, you'll probably notice this inconsistency by the words and what you're feeling. This is reiterating that your body is not separate from your mind and your moods and your actions. Rather, they're all intertwined. So now I'll give you another example. You're waking up this morning, you didn't get enough sleep, you're tired, you're running late, and you're rushing out of the house and you trip over something maybe your child left in the hallway. You get upset and you yell at him or her for that object being there. Now change that story around a little bit. You woke up this morning, you're feeling great, you got all this sleep, you're well rested, you even had time to make yourself a nice little breakfast before heading to work or an appointment. And as you're going down the hallway, you trip on that object that your child maybe left there. So now maybe in this instance you have a gentle but firm conversation about picking up after themselves and not leaving stuff. And this doesn't even have to involve another person. It could just be you alone walking down the hallway and tripping on something. What are the self-talk and the words in your head if you're not in a good mood versus if you are? So again, that's another example of the two being intertwined. So we're going to start by developing a somatic presence practice here today. And to do that, we're going to focus on sensations in the body, be it temperature, pressure, movement, and then bringing in mood. These qualities are a language of sensation. They tell us how energy is moving through the body, how life is moving through the body. So you can do this seated, standing, or lying down. Just depends where you are in your environment today. So if you don't already have your eyes closed and you're comfortable with that, closing them gently. Or if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that's okay. Just have a soft gaze a few feet in front of you. And bringing the awareness and the attention down to the feet. Seeing what you notice in the feet. Maybe you have socks on, shoes on, and you notice that. Maybe you're barefoot and you can feel the carpet or floor, your shoes, the ground, whatever it is. Seeing if you can sense into the feet. Now we're going to move into that first quality, temperature. Pay attention to the sensations in the body areas. Noticing if a spot is particularly warm or cool. Maybe part of the body is tensing against the cold. Maybe there's perspiration or heat. Or maybe you're noticing it's neutral. You don't feel hot or cold. So scan through the body now, head to toe. Again, paying attention to the temperature differences you notice in the body at this moment. Now letting go of temperature and moving into the sensations of pressure. So pressure can be a heaviness, lightness, constriction. There may be expansion, airiness, or lightness. Or there might be a sense of tension. Maybe heaviness or constriction. And seeing again what's happening throughout the whole body in relation to pressure. Lightness or heaviness. Happening in the body in relation to these pressure sensations. You may be discovering that in your body, areas that it's difficult to sense anything. You can't bring your attention there. It can be different for everyone. Maybe it's your calves or your feet or your hands. It's okay, not judging yourself. That will change over time with the practice. I myself couldn't feel into my lower legs or feet for quite a while. Just make note of the location that you can't quite feel or sense into. Now we're adding the third quality, movement. What movement are we sensing in the body? Maybe we're noticing the lungs expanding and contracting with the breath, or the rib cage. Possibly the heart beating or the pulse in the body. Maybe there's a tingling or prickling or throbbing. Maybe you're actually changing your position to be more comfortable. And that's the movement you're noticing. Or maybe there's a quiet quality of stillness in the body. Taking time to scan through the body, head to toe, noticing what movements we're feeling. These sensations that we're feeling in the body, they're happening here and now. Maybe you noticed a sensation earlier with the temperature or the pressure. It has dissipated, changed. It's gone, there's a new sensation. This is present moment awareness, not clinging to a sensation in the past or anticipating a sensation in the future. Being as best we're able to stay in moment by moment awareness. As I mentioned earlier, the mood and emotions are intertwined with the body, tightly linked. Maybe earlier when we were doing the pressure sensation, there was a fluttering in your heart, which may go along with being anxious. Or maybe there's a tightness in the chest or shoulders, which may go along with fear. Or maybe there's a feeling of stillness, maybe related to calm, being calm. So I'd like you to check in with yourself now. See if you can determine a present mood or emotion in your body. Identify and name that mood or emotion. Trying not to second guess ourselves, having an internal battle. Maybe not liking the first mood or emotion that came to mind and wanting something different or something more positive. Just being okay with what's present here, what we're feeling now. Letting go of that. Coming to the breath and taking a few breaths. And coming back into the room, into the present location, maybe wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes and fluttering the eyes open. So that was the somatic practice, bringing awareness to temperature, pressure, movement, and the emotion and mood in the body. So maybe over the next week, taking time, practicing this again, maybe later today, maybe once a day. And it doesn't have to be in a quiet space or this much time. You could do it standing in line at the grocery store, at the post office, wherever you may be standing in line. Could do it, check in with the body on your commute. Maybe you're on the bus or the train, or maybe driving. Obviously, we don't want to close our eyes when we're driving. And then for those of us that are data driven and like to document, maybe journaling what we're experiencing, having a picture of the body, even a stick person, and just noting on there where we felt sensations and what they were. And then maybe having an overall mood or emotion that we're sensing. And then maybe you'll notice patterns, or maybe you'll notice areas that you couldn't sense into, and later on you're able to. So again, this is the start of the somatic experiencing, helping us come into our body and using our body, the knowledge within our body, to help us be aware of what's going on in the body. And by having that awareness, then maybe being able to make different choices versus habitual responses. Like maybe if we are in a bad mood and we do trip over that toy or whatever, sensing into that and knowing before, sort of maybe angrily lashing out, noticing that and pausing and stopping ourselves and having a different response, because those responses affect ourselves and affect our relationships with others. It's a potential way to be aware and change things. So thank you for practicing today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.